Hey, true conceivers, welcome to the Heroic Origins podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Terrence, and we're just two comic book nerds doing what we love to do.
Make
Make
up
up
new
new
superheroes.
superheroes. We're going to take some random words, pictures, and an article.
And then riff off them until we come up with a fully fleshed out superhero. We've given ourselves a time limit, 140-minute regulation brainstorming period.
If we still haven't finished our hero by then, we'll move to a lightning round with 2 additional minutes per character element and 1 5-minute revision period.
Now get ready because it's collaborating time. All right.
All right.
So let's pull up our.
Well, this week we continue our ever expanding team of elements, agents of elemental agents.
We haven't come up with the title of the.
Yeah.
It's Greta's secret. It's Greta's clandestine elemental task force or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, is that GC? GCET. GSET. Okay, we can work on that. We can work on that. Well, but I think we should wait till we get all the other characters.
Yeah. So we have all 4 now.
Because we have 2. Last week's was Appa Seaglass, which was, huh?
Or Jack Staff, or is it? Oh, her heroic name is Seaglass.
Seaglass, yeah, Jack Staff.
Okay, okay.
Jack Staff Appa Seaglass is the full civilian name.
Yes,
but Seaglass is kind of the code name we decided. But basically, Seaglass comes from a race of water clones.
Yes.
That are operatives that are basically enslaved or controlled by the ocean, which is this on this fictional planet. The ocean is a hive mind, and it used to subdue human sailors and then turn them into these water creatures to use as liaisons or ambassadors or whatever with the landlubbers.
And before that, we had our Earth agent, the Underuncle.
That's right.
Uncle Apollo.
Nice.
Nice.
It could be nice. It's nice. I like nice, but nice, yeah. Uncle. I like Uncle Nice. I'm going to go see Uncle Nice.
With the mole human half-breed that works with one of the many underground societies, because there are a bunch of different societies.
Yeah, there's mole people, there are gnomes, there are trolls, dwarves, trimmers worms.
Trimmers worms, yes. Do they have a representative in the UN?
I'm thinking there's, well, I don't know. That's a good question. They're not represented in Greta's clandestine elemental task force.
Right.
But they might, one would think so. If like all the nations of the world have a representative at the UN, then all the underground, all the elemental societies probably have some representative too, right?
Interesting.
I don't know. But, I mean, it's a diplomatic thing. So we've got 2 elements that we've worked on. Now we got to choose between air
and fire.
That's right. So
we can do a plasma if we wanted to really get crazy.
Well, I think the question is, are we talking, because you got the 4 elements, which is earth, air, fire, and water, but you also have the 4 states
of matter.
Of matter, so that's like liquid, gaseous, solid, and plasma. So I mean, they kind of correlate. So I mean, it could be. I don't think we strictly decided, but I mean, we've got either earth and water, or we have solid and liquid.
Okay.
So we can go either way. Which
yeah, I prefer earth and water. Yeah.
Okay. Do the classic elements. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, what do you want? You want air or fire?
Well, I'd say that we go based on what our random words are. That'll determine which one, and then the last one will just have to fit with whatever
Okay, all right. Well, let's bring up our random words here. Boop. We've got gynecology. I like this is under weird words, by the way, and
Well, that's not how you would spell gynecology.
well, that's why it must be weird, is because it's a weird spelling.
This gyne-ecology is how that's spelled.
Well, but AE is sometimes spelled gyne. It's kind of like Scottish gynecology, or that's not a very good Scottish accent, but
As good as you're going to get out of me.
trocheline
Of
of
or
like or
pertaining to
pertaining to hummingbirds.
hummingbirds.
That could be air related.
Yeah.
Postal, a marginal note or commentary. I don't know, I like that, but I don't know if it fits either fire or I guess notes could be burned. Chiasmus.
Contrast by parallelism in reverse order.
I don't know what that means. We might want to look that up.
Okay. I'm just.
Now, this one I'm not sure how to pronounce. Puissant
That's what I would say.
or
Puissant,
puissant?
meaning powerful or mighty.
That's kind of a wimpy word for meaning
Yeah,
powerful or mighty.
it doesn't
Mighty.
sound like what I would think it would mean, but it's. But
To
it
be
does
fair,
seem.
it sounds French.
It sounds. But it would be a. I'd apply it to fire if I was to say.
Yeah. Okay, I want to know what chiasmus means. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'd like to see an example of Chaz.
Okay, let's take a look here. A rhetorical or literary figure in which words, grammatical constructions, or concepts are repeated in reverse order in the same or modified form. Poetry is the record of the best and happiest moments of the happiest and best minds. Oh, interesting.
Okay. So, that would have been a great word for what was our
linguistic pantheon?
Yeah, yeah.
Actually would, yeah. Geez, should we go AWOL and just do another linguistic pantheon?
I think we should just note that word for a future use. Did you like any of those? Do you want to reshuffle the cards?
Okay, I want to reshuffle.
Yeah.
Not too motivated by any of those. Okay. Mastigophorus, bearing a whip.
Whip.
Whip it good. Okay. You want to read the next one?
Clinkstone, light type of igneous rock that rings when struck.
That would have been great for our Earth person.
Yeah.
Our Earth character. Threptic, of like or pertaining to the rearing of the young. Huh, interesting.
Ablespia, which is blindness.
Okay. And micro miniaturization. Extreme miniaturization used in making electronic components. Okay, let's think about this. Okay. Clinkstone, it's at least elemental. And the thing is that it rings when struck.
And igneous is actually a lava rock, isn't it?
I think you're right. And I mean, I'm just saying, I kind of lean towards that because I think we could come up with a fire or air variation on that.
Yeah. But we could also bearing a whip. I honestly, I was thinking that could be wind right there.
Oh, that's true. Do you want? Well, what's your preferred one?
Well, I mean, I think I don't know. I've got thoughts on. I mean, basically on both of those two. I'm at a toss up, honestly.
Let's do. I don't know. I mean, I lean towards I think the rings part. That it rings, that makes noise. I kind of drawn to that a little bit more. But whip would create a noise too.
Yeah.
So why don't we take them both?
Okay. See, I'm thinking of them each for a different element, so I'm wondering what you're thinking now.
Well, no, I mean, I'm thinking that they could be. What we can do is. They're we can basically use them as I mean they would be different elements, but whoops, but I mean, I'm just saying that we use it as it's not directly using it. We would use it as sort of like, well, what's the air version of this? You know,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
because I mean, like, what rings? You know, I mean, it could be anyway. I just think that there's because we don't have to use the word directly, but we use
No,
it
no,
indirectly, right? You
right. It's
know,
the inspiration for it.
yeah. So anyway, why don't we move on to a random fact?
All right.
So, oops, no ads. Come on, one more. Here we go. Random fact. Or wait, is this or a headline? Would you rather do a headline?
Yeah, let's do a headline.
Okay. Okay. Michael Paternity answers questions from his editor. Okay.
No,
All right.
I have
Get that
no
one. Give me
idea.
another. Richard Branson turns 50. Hey, but that's Virgin Airlines.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. Another?
Yeah, let's try one more. Although,
Dwayne Johnson for president.
hey, again, The Rock.
We're getting a lot of rock stuff. What if, okay, hey, here's the thing. What if, this is weird, but what if, like, the air used like a rock, like an earth elemental as its representative?
Well, I was thinking something a little different. What if there was an allegiance between fire and air? That
Yeah.
would just be they're already
Fire and air.
yes.
Okay, so all this rock stuff that's coming up, we're just ignoring.
But well,
Well, anyway, do we want to do what do we want to use Dwayne Johnson's president as our?
not really. No.
Okay, or it says a profile of The Rock, the best friend you didn't know you had.
Oh, the best
You could
friend,
use
the
the
best friend you
subtitle.
didn't know you had. There you go. There's their allegiance.
Okay, on change in India, what it means to become a superpower while 3/4 of the population lives on less than 50 cents per day. 4 scenes from India in transition. Do we want to go with a random fact?
Yeah, let's try random fact. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I feel the Richard Branson thing was fine. I don't know.
Oh, okay, we can do the Richard Branson one.
Go
Let's
back.
see.
But
Well,
let's
okay,
see.
here we go.
Ew.
In a room with what?
Ancient Romans used urine as mouthwash. That was the first thing that just jumped out at me.
Yep. Well, hey, this isn't much better. McDonald's once made bubblegum flavored broccoli. I guess that's better than broccoli flavored bubblegum.
Yeah.
In a room with just 23 people, there's a 50-50 chance that at least 2 people have the same birthday.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, I don't think any of those help us. Let's go to Richard Branson. You want to do the Richard Branson?
Richard Branson. Yes. Rich guy turns 50 in an airplane. Rich airplane owning guy turns 50.
When was that article from? Jeez.
2000, I think it said. That's why I was looking at it. It's like, that must have been a while ago.
Okay. We are speeding through this, Terrence, today. Okay. Let's see. Let's go with a random picture. Ads. Okay. That's what we get. By the way, we're using randomgenerator.com to get
all
all
your random needs.
That's
one
right.
place.
Yeah, they have more than just random words.
You can do random
Okay.
Bible verses someday.
Okay, random Oh. That's I don't know. I don't know why that disturbs me.
It's because it's disturbing. I don't know what that is.
It's like a little spigot, a face of there's a face on a spigot, and it's like puking water.
Yeah, it's a weird, creepy face.
Oh,
Oh,
a crying
cute.
blue-eyed baby. Okay, that's just AI.
Yeah. Filmed stock.
Yep. And a bunch
Lots
of
of
mice.
mice.
Wow. I don't know.
Nice
None of those fire and water. Should we keep going?
Well, the mice are on straw. It's flammable. I guess technically they're all flammable. Ah.
Okay, I'm gonna pick some more pictures here. Okay, we got a squirrel and nuts.
Is that like a globe?
Looks like a water droplet to me. That may be AI. Oh,
Is that a dandelion?
yeah.
Nice little-
The seed, the dandelion seed.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting to me. This one, that's my leading one there. Oh,
A chair with googly eyes. Ooh,
We've used that before, them.
we have.
Yeah, we did. I'm trying to remember. It was a while ago, a couple years ago.
Ah,
But we've
okay.
used that one. Or no, well, did we use it or did I use it for something else? Anyway, I've seen it before. What do you think of that, though? Do you like that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know what it really symbolizes with fire and.
Well, it could be like this air warrior type of thing. By the way, it's a statue for all of you listening. It's a statue of a man with a sword, but there's all these
Pretty,
it's an incomplete statue. So
it's
the
like,
body
yeah,
looks like it's kind of ghostly,
yeah, it's hollowed out. And,
but it's like clearly a statue.
yeah, like wearing a cloak, but if there's holes all through it. And,
I'll admit, I'm actually kind of more
okay,
interested in the dandelion
you
thing.
got ideas on the dandelion.
I do.
Let's,
Let's see. Okay. Whoop. Okay. So we've got that squared away.
all right.
Now it's time for us to get on the clock.
Oh, dang it. You know what? I did not
Did
pull
we
up.
not set up the clock today?
It'll take me 1 second.
Okay. Boop, boop. Here, now it's time for intermission.
I just have to share it with you. Wow. All right. So are we ready? Oh,
I
wait.
think so.
Is that sharing?
It is sharing, but we don't want to share. We want to share the other screen. So,
All right. Well,
so go ahead and
stand by.
start
I'm
it.
going to go ahead and start it.
Yeah, and we can see it there in the corner. So, all right.
All right.
Okay, folks. So let's get started. So we've got Mastagophorus, meaning bearing a whip, clickstone type of igneous rock that rings when struck. We got Richard Branson turns 50, and we got the dandelion seed. Well, there's a different term for that, right?
I think it means dandelions.
Dandelion seed. Well, because a dandelion is the yellow thing. I mean, they're dandelions. It's a
Yeah.
young.
It's just the seed, right? Yeah.
Okay, but it turns into the yellow thingy.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking there was a different term for the white.
I mean,
thing.
that's the flower, I guess, versus the seed, I guess.
Okay. Well, anyway. All right. Great. So yeah, what I was thinking about I like the idea that the thing about the seed is that it blows away. It blows away in the wind, right?
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
like there's a sense in which I like the idea that the air is being used as transport for sex. I don't know, but for like no, I just I guess the idea is that you have like this seed. They talk about like clouds. There's actually like bacteria in clouds. Clouds are actually living organisms.
Hmm.
There's like actual living things in clouds. So like you have a seed or something, it's also something that blows around in the air, but it's actually alive. So if you have these air beings, they could be like dandelions
Yeah.
or something, or clouds, but they could be kind of seed beings. You
Okay.
know, what if they're like seed beings and they live in the air but eventually they land on something and I mean, I don't know, it could be like a possession type of thing. You have these seed beings flowing in the air, and then
So they
maybe
just
they land on things like rock and they possess them or something.
yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
That's not a bad. Yeah. No, that's a because yeah. No, the hmm.
And the way you get rid of them is you blow them off. So like that actually be kind of
Well, where would yeah? Well, I guess if they why aren't they everything? Yeah. Or
well. I mean, yeah. I mean, they're. I mean, I guess.
I mean, I like the idea that well, maybe if they were to inhabit humans, like they just get like breathed in, like, and then you're
It,
possessed.
It could be. Now, this is the thing. They may
You know,
not be air elementals the same way as the water creatures are.
right.
They may be, earthen things that just use air as transport,
Well, yeah, that they well, no, I like the idea of something living in the clouds, that
Yeah.
they're just lighter than things, and so they're up there, but then they travel down and they possess something, and then they can go. I like the idea, like if it was like a seed, like, yeah, you breathe it in, and oh, now I've got this thing in me, and now it's you
You
know
poop it out, and all of a sudden you're.
well, I'm like, then my thought was, how would you really get it? I mean, would you sneeze it out, cough it out? Would it crawl out on its own? Would
Well,
it
I
be?
like that idea. Yeah, it's basically just like a disease. Like actually, maybe they come down and it's like allergies or something. It's like you're possessed for like a week or two,
Yeah,
and then you're free.
yeah,
So it's just it just that that's kind of interesting, sort of the alien allergy.
yeah. But they're just like, yeah, little creatures. I don't know. Initially, I was thinking, like, if we had, because air and fire, if we wanted to combine those two, because they work really well together, and they have, they're really, it would make sense for those two to have an alliance over anyone else, because air and fire just make fire stronger and everything else, and so they can
Well, but
destroy everything
what's
else.
in it for air?
I guess power, because I mean, air takes a long time to do anything, right?
No,
They
no,
can.
but I'm just saying that air gets burned up. I mean, it's not
Oh, well, in
really.
that sense, but
Fire really benefits from air, but air doesn't benefit from fire.
hmm, what if fire is more like I'm I don't know why I'm going to Planet of the Apes, but like, the gorillas and the orangutans are, air. If you were if you recall the
So
hierarchy
one's
of
the
Planet of
military and
the
one's the
Apes.
the scientific, the academic side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, chimpanzees were more scientific.
Okay. Well, the
The-
orangutans were what was their?
they were more the ruling class, the rulers,
Huh.
the lawmakers, and the big thinkers.
Well, maybe
The
we
ones
should
that were
just
preserving
split all
that
the elements
race of
up
apes.
based on Planet of the Apes.
I shouldn't have read those comic books. They just poisoned my mind.
Wait, that was just recently, or you mean as a
Yeah,
kid?
yeah. I recently read the
Oh, okay.
Planet of the Apes comic books.
Where did you read? Who published those?
It was on Marvel.
It's on Marvel.
Yeah,
Oh,
Marvel Unlimited. Like,
I'm
yeah,
surprised they still have the license for it. That's interesting because it's like you can't read Transformers on Marvel right now.
really, I hadn't looked at that.
No, or GI Joe because those are the licenses. Other
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody wants the old. I mean, these are the old Planet of the Apes, old like the
like from the '60s or something.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and they're directly like they're straight like the movie. Yeah. So.
Anyway, well, so okay. So let's say so if we do have the seed beings that go around and possess people for brief periods of time, like the
Mhm,
length of a cold or whatever, or an allergy attack,
mhm.
then how do we put fire into that?
I'd say, what if fire is just like too unwieldy? Like they are just like barbarians. Like they're just rage, fire. Although
Well,
that's
I kind of feel like we're leaning towards creating the air beings here, though. So I don't understand. I'm not
okay.
sure how to.
I don't know. I just keep thinking of the two of them, how they work together.
Well, no, but that's cool. But I mean, like, how does this? The character we're working on here is which is the character like a liaison between those two, or
Well, it would be like basically like, okay, we have a nation like the United States. It's like the united elements of fire and air. They've combined into one.
I'm fine with that.
That was my idea, but
That's cool. That's cool. Hey, could you
it
hold
only
on?
works if if it makes sense for fire. In
Let
there.
me let me 1 second here.
Do, 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 do. Ooh, what else do we have here? Happy post Valentine's Day.
Okay, so if we have one character here who's creating I guess we got to create both societies. So if we've got the seed society with that uses air as transport and it
Right.
possesses creatures,
Yes.
then what's the fire society? I mean, and if are we going off of? I mean, are they igneous rocks that are harmonic or something? Because I mean, that's the thing I liked
Like,
about that.
Huh. Well, as far as the sound, I don't know. I like the idea of the igneous rocks in that they would name themselves after things they've destroyed. Like, I am of Clan Igneous. We melt rocks. I am of Clan Ash. We destroy forests. You know that sort of thing.
Okay, but how
But
do they? How
what
do
the
they?
actual beings are, the elemental, like the, I don't know. Like, do they live in? Are they like fire lizards or something? Or you know, like are they?
Well, I mean, if we've got these seed beings, I mean, it makes
Oh,
the seed beings might take them over. You
what if they're
know,
fire birds
fire birds. Oh,
flying up in the air?
like the airplane, like Richard Branson.
Oh,
Is how
hey.
we're fitting in Richard Branson?
Well, I don't know how we're fitting. Well, no, he would have gotten he would have inhaled something while he was up in his jet and comes back down. It's like, I'm a billionaire representative for the people of the air.
Well, no, let's go with that. Let's see. Well, what if there's? Well, okay, we've got.
Actually, I like that. Like, yeah, forget the fire
What if
thing.
the
Let's
air?
just go
Okay,
with the.
okay. Let me pitch this idea that heat and fire creates kind of airstreams,
True.
and that might maybe that's what the ally. You know, if fire if these seed beings can ally themselves with the fire, fire creates you know the airstreams that gives them a little bit more ability to um, control where they go. So I'm just trying to figure out what the alliance is going to be here between them.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be a. I mean, since transportation is one of the themes with Richard Branson here, then what if it's like,
I guess.
you know, what if they somehow coax out, like let's say the seed beings go and invade a forest or whatever, and they decide it's time to move on, so they set a forest fire, and that gives them the ability to float out of there, maybe because of smoke, maybe because of different air currents or something. Um,
Yeah, because yeah, because
what?
we've got a reason for the water to be at the UN. Like they've got needs and all of that, and we've got a reason for the Earth. But like, yeah, what is? I mean, does pollution affect like matter to the cloud, the beings that live in the clouds?
Well,
Does
I think they should have different interests. So I mean, I kind of like the. I mean, to me, it's kind of different there. If fire is kind of used as so, I mean, they go to a forest
hmm
and they you know, maybe they've invaded a forest, they've possessed this forest, and that, but they're responsible for. What if the seed beings are responsible for forest fires because it's used as a way to transport themselves?
hmm,
You know, so that's where the fire
is there something that they could?
comes in.
What do they? Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out what does air get out of what do these air beings get out of the fire?
I'm
Um,
trying to think. How do these air beings exist? Like, what do they eat? Where do they if do they live? If they live in the clouds, what do they care about the ground and the fire on the? Why would that? I mean, you're saying transportation, but transportation to where? Like, what are they?
well, I mean they go from organism to organism to yeah, that's a good question. I mean they probably water is probably important to them too.
Yeah,
So but I mean I like the idea that, I mean we harness fire for transportation. I mean the internal
true.
combustion
Yeah,
engine is about fire. The jet you know jets are about fire. Um, so I mean in a way it could be sort of a similar thing, but they don't build things the way the humans do. Or maybe they do. Actually, here you go. What if seed beings are responsible for the internal combustion engine? They created it,
oh, like the
like historically.
what if the seed beings? Oh, what if they're like responsible for like a lot of the like I don't know. There's the theory of all the bacteria on the planet is really just geared to getting off planet and cohabiting another planet, like spreading life, like that whole
I had not
thing.
heard this.
Like just basically like that bacteria came from space, landed on Earth, propagated to a point where we leave Earth and go out into space, right? So at some point we're
Well,
spreading, continuing to spread the bacteria that we originated from. and it continues on.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's just yeah. Okay. Okay.
So, but
Um,
maybe that's what the seed beings are doing. Like I mean, because that goes into your airplane with Richard Branson. It goes into your combustion engine.
so
It goes
they're
into,
like the original. They're kind of so that's the seed beings. It's propagation of the species. It's all about um, spreading and growing and survival, and
yeah,
they're trying. So they're a explorers or
well, technologists as well. I mean, they're
well, yeah, but that's a means to
yeah,
get
but
what
they're
they're looking to do, which is they're expansionists. Maybe
so
that's the right.
but they are the industry of the world, right? Like they're involved in major industry to build things to.
Well,
They may
they
be contributing all the pollution. That's why they're like fire wants to burn coal. All right, yeah, fire. You can burn coal, all the coal you want. We need that. So
well, so like the see, I like the idea that they basically, since they only last as long as a cold, they're kind of like inspiration. They possess people. They kind of come up with these like blueprints for technological advances, and then
hmm
they leave, and then you have like you know those human geniuses or whatever.
hmm
They've got these plans where they're sort of like, well, geez, I'm not really sure how I came up with it, but hey, this is what I got. But I like the idea that maybe they're responsible for like all sorts of technological
yeah,
inspirations that
yeah.
humans have had.
The muse struck me, and then I got over my cold.
Yeah, because I mean, like that could be the thing. Like you don't even realize that you're under control.
Yeah,
It could just be like it could be felt as inspiration.
yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And they're working with fire to get the hell off this planet. Well, but does that mean they're the villains of this story
They
here?
could be. They could be. I mean, they could be. That's why I was saying if they're the industry that's. I mean, like everybody else is already a little bit against. They're working with the humans. They're improving humans. They're improving our lot in life through all of our. You know.
Well, the whole thing is they want to their way of improving things is destroying it to get off of it. Well, because I mean, they may actually be kind of like, their attitude might be that it's just a used up, old husk
Yeah.
at this
Well, I
point.
mean, that's a question. Like, how? What?
What I like about this is they could be perceived as the heroes at first because they're granting all this technology,
hmm
but doing it is actually ultimately harmful for the planet.
Right. Right.
Um, so what? I guess the question then though would be why would they be part of Greta's task force? You
Maybe.
know?
Maybe not all of them want to go. Maybe that's the thing. Is
Oh,
like,
it's like a rebel.
yeah, like maybe that's
That's true. There's the one society, and this one's okay. So this is a seed being
that.
that's fighting the system.
Yeah.
Ooh. But then would they be a representative at the UN or would they
Well, I mean, they're like a double agent, right? They're like, they're there, but then secretly they work with, you know, this other Greta's group. the,
Okay. I like this. Okay, this is
yeah,
making sense. So
yeah.
all right, so they're part of this these seed beings are part of um an expansionist species that's
Well, I was gonna say, but they could be like, it could be for representatives of like the seed beings, but the representative themselves is a rebel, is a double agent who's secretly doing things.
yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, okay. So
Okay, but these
it's not like a secret cabal that has joined the UN or a separation of the society. It's just they're trying to change things for their world in their nation. Their element. Oh, where's our timer?
Yeah, good question. What's our time frame? Oh, we got 22 minutes. We're halfway. I think we've made a lot of progress actually.
I think we did too.
So they transport the air like spores or bacteria, taking
Spores.
brief control of organisms that they land on. Length of a cold. Um, they're expansionists and use fire to control their movements and attempts to leave the planet. Okay. I think that's an interesting culture right there. So that's cool. So the psychology of our hero though is that they're um, is worried double is wants to stop his culture from destroying the planet. Um, I guess one thing about this culture is that
Scorched earth.
they possess humans and inspire them to create technology that the sea beings want. Okay. So, all right. Well, that gives us some idea of powers. Let's talk about powers here. So the seeds, they have a. It's not really mind control per se, but they have. I mean, it's inspiration,
Well,
which is kind of it's. I think this is the thing is like they're controlling the person, but they don't realize they're being controlled. So it's like
right. So it's
it's
like it's like almost like a hypnotic suggestion, like a post hypnotic suggestion sort of thing.
yeah,
Like a
kind of like that. Yeah, or it's like it's like they're nudging people.
yeah.
They're nudging. But I think inspiration is maybe we should say inspirational mind control. I don't know. I mean, that kind of gets at what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I think a little. Yeah. Um, so I would assume they'd be able to read the people's minds. Have
Um,
like
that would make sense. So some sort of telepathy or empathy or no telepathy, I would think. Well, but is it? Can they read it or can they just
well
just
the I mean are they? I mean, because if you land in like a 6-year-old and you're like create a combustion engine, they're going to be like, huh? Like, and
well,
you'd
but
have
you
to.
get like those geniuses. You do get kids that are like really crazy.
Okay. I
Like
mean, I would think that
Mozart.
you'd be
Mozart. How old
feeding.
was Mozart?
I think you'd be feeding off of like their knowledge. Like making the connections that they're not making. That, I don't know. When I think inspiration, that's what I think. It's more that you get that leap.
Well, but it could be a one-way communication though. I mean, they may not actually I'm not sure I want them to be able to read minds per se. Like they may be able to, send it could be one-way telepathy. Like they just sort of feed, information directly into the person.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Well, just cuz it's, I mean
I I'm thinking, how does this character interact with the world outside of like
well, I mean
our
if we were trying to control a creature, we would give it incentives. We would have
right?
like um we would train it with the carrot and the stick, right? We'd give it positive and negative reinforcement. So, I mean, if you're sending one-way information, you could send negative stuff and positive stuff. So it'd be just a more complex form of um, enslavement or control.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I like leaning into the complexities, but if you want to just make it straight up telepathy or something, we can do
Oh
that.
no, I was just thinking, the back and forth, but that's fine. So inspirational mind control. Uh,
Uh,
Lighter than air travel.
yeah, that works. Um,
Are I'm assuming these are small beings.
well, are they kind of?
like very diminutive.
Is it a collective? Is it like because if it's multiple, like I was thinking like, it's like a bunch of spores or something. But do they travel together, or is it like each spore like a separate consciousness? Or are they a hive mind? What are they?
Oh, I assumed that they were each individual.
So
Like
like one seed?
yeah, yeah, like that they would be their own little things floating. And
Okay.
I mean,
So
I don't know how, and that's where I'm like, I guess it would be pretty small, but how small? Like, are they? Are there bajillions of them, or
well, if it's like a dandelion,
yeah?
I mean, I guess that's the thing is like is it a dandelion type of thing?
I'm okay with that. I mean, that was the original. That was the
Okay.
picture. That was so.
So
If
okay,
there,
dandelion
what was a?
warm. So there
I'm
are
thinking of
these little fluffy. Well, how would you describe that? Like a
like
little
Horton Hears
cotton.
a Who, the little fuzz that was the whole world of people.
So that's puffy, fuzzy.
They're little puffballs.
Huh?
They're little puffballs.
Puffballs.
Like, oh.
Floaty puffballs. All right. Okay.
Oh, what's that video game with the little pink Kirby?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's not fuzzy, but he's just a pink
Okay.
floaty dude. But yeah, I like that. Fluff balls.
That's more. That goes towards. Let's see. Yeah. So,
I guess appearance.
but it's also That's let's see. Yeah, that's appearance. So let's do that. And I guess that's the civilian form. I'll just put that in a more generic spot. Let's see. Um. Okay. So inspirational mind control, lighter than air travel. Um. But the talents, the skills, well, skills wise, it must be pretty intelligent. Must have a technological, like
Yeah, engineering.
engineering. Their equipment are organisms they commandeer.
Yeah. Can they do
We,
anything? Can they do animals?
yeah, I figure any type of. Well, I think they could do plants.
Oh yeah.
I think
Oh,
anything except for rocks. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can do rocks too. I mean, maybe that's the thing. Maybe they've. I mean,
how would they do rocks?
yeah, any living organism. Let's say they
Okay.
can they can do any. So that would include plants and animals.
Okay.
You know. See, the weaknesses though is that they only they can only possess something for a week, right? Week to
10
10
days.
days. That's a typical cold, right?
Yeah.
And I figure that like you get those dandelion things, they break apart, right? So they would
Hmm.
like land on something, break apart, and then get absorbed or whatever, and then they would have to leave and reconstitute itself or something. Is how I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a little fuzzy guy coming out your nose.
well, the other thing is, does it? Well, I guess this character would be short-lived if it actually died after 10 days.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. They've got to be able to continue and just re-inhabit different things and different people.
But I like how long does it take for it to reconstitute itself? Another week?
Oh, reconstitute like it's disintegrated somehow, or
Well, it's like those. Just think about the puffy balls, as they fall apart. So they got to
oh,
regrow
you're
or
thinking of the
something.
whole seed pack of the dandelion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no, I was thinking individual seed, like it's just like a puff, like a little, like really like a spore. Really, this would
Oh, really? Just one spore. One
just
spore.
one. Yeah, each puff is a different being. So
Okay. Okay. Uh, well,
yeah,
still, I like the idea that it has a refractory period.
okay.
That it's like because it would be interesting. It's like you can only communicate it with like for 7 to 10 days at a time, and then it doesn't come back for a month or something like that. It can't come back for a month
Well,
or a week.
it can't come back into a human form or a live. Well, no, but that oh.
Well,
See,
I just
I like the idea of like, okay, you're on some mission. It's like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Don't worry, I'll jump into the cat, and it's the cat for like a while, and
well,
then
so it can't be the same. Well, but I mean,
it
it's
can
like
jump out of it early, and go into something else,
well, it would be okay. So
So it can jump from body to body, but I guess
okay, so it's not that it doesn't have to go and recover. It just needs to change to a well. But does it? Can it just go to another human? I mean, I want it to be. I don't want it to be a situation where it just can pick up another human. All I
right, right. No, I'm seeing what you're saying. Like, because yeah, having a limit is nice too. But I like the idea of it just being like, I'm gonna jump to this. Oh,
well,
actually, no, I'm
well, but I mean, the idea that it has to go to a different, a less
like,
complex organism, maybe. Like
because I
maybe
mean,
it.
I'm just imagining you're on a mission, right? You've got your guy, and you've got Richard Branson, but it's like, oh no, I can't get past this door. But there's a dog on the other side. Achoo! Why am I here?
I like the
the
idea that it
dog,
transfers. It transfers by sneezing.
and the dog runs off and finishes the mission.
Okay, I like that.
Like
Okay,
that.
okay, okay. But then, well, let's say it has to change to a different type of organism. So after a week to 10 days, it has to change to a different
Well, maybe it can
genus.
go for 10 days at a stretch, and then it has to. Oh, because yeah, no, it's like not like unlimited organisms. Yeah, we've got to.
Oh well, actually, okay, we could do it both ways. We could do both of our ways. One is if it's in that it's basically it is active for a week to 10 days,
Uh-huh.
and during that period, it can transfer from any number of different people. But at the end of the 10 days, it needs to take like a break for a week before it does anything else.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Can you still communicate with it though? Just you need a microscope or whatever.
well, I think the way it communicates is by possessing something.
Yeah. It's about a little fluffy person.
I wasn't thinking that, but I mean, is that what you want it to be?
That's what I think of. I'm really thinking of now.
Is
Like
that just too cutesy for words?
it is really cute. It's like, oh. 'Cause I am definitely thinking of a little cute pink puffy being. I'm here to dominate the world and destroy you all. We're gonna leave the earth a burnt crust as we sail.
So you want it to be a humanoid. You want it to be a little tiny. You want it to be Ant-Man, basically.
Well, no, not a humanoid because it's a puffball. It's a ball. It's got little arms and legs. It's a little puff.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
That's my idea. Are we gonna? If we get to drawing these, yeah, you'll see.
Arms and legs. Okay. Floaty puffball with arms and legs. How are we doing on time here? We
We've
got
got 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So this is. um. Okay. So the civilian psychology. It's the ambassador to UN for the seed people. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's cool. So it's double agent in heroic form. Do we have a name for this? Do we want to just say son of Bran?
Son of Bran. What was the first word? The
Mastigophorus, bearing a whip.
and Clinkstone.
I mean, that could be the name, Mastigophorus Clinkstone. Well, I mean, this might lead us to, why? Here's a question: Why is this one a rebel? And I'm curious. Like, maybe it's because of music.
What?
The Clinkstone.
Oh, the Clinkstone. I'm like, where'd you get music from? Okay.
Well, because like it makes there's sound. There's it could be that you float in the air and sound is probably a big you
Yeah.
experience sound in a certain way, and it may be that's like wow there are all these glorious sounds, that we hear on this planet, and I don't want to lose those. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, that's not a bad one. I'm down with that. Sound, yeah, because yeah, no, that would be the thing going through the air would be sound. So.
Is in love with the native sounds of Earth. Okay. So what's the name of our? Well, let's see here. Actually, do we? Okay, so the biography is. Well, wait. Is there anything else that's easy for us to come up with here? We got to.
Um,
No, we're up to this point here. I think.
I'll give him a talent with a whip, skills.
Well, this is a. We can sure.
I mean, it's just I don't know that it's up there. So
Whiplashing. I don't know what's what.
I mean, using a whip is that is a skill. They could just do that every now and again when they're in a human body, just like.
Well, because they just like the sound of. See, I like the idea that
the crack is
they like the sound of the crack.
that breaks the sound barrier, right? And
They like clinks. They like cracks.
um, so biography, the spored from the ashes of a forest fire or whatever. Like it's yeah, actually that was what I was thinking. Like, is that part of their birth process? Like going up,
Oh.
when you destroy a forest and they have their little hive and that they collect there and then they set on fire so they can spread off into the.
Well, I like the idea that that's like how the new ones come about somehow.
Yeah.
Like there's a. Like
yeah, that would just be more reason for them to set fires. That
yeah.
they
So
procreate.
that's part of the world building here. So let's see. Forest. Let's see. The spores are born of forest fires. Okay. And that also they go up in smoke.
Yeah.
That sets them up into the air.
Yeah.
And that's how they. Okay, that's interesting. So, okay, I guess the question here for the biography is, if this person's kind of, a secret agent, a double agent, how the heck did they become the representative?
Well, I guess that comes to the hierarchy of their their nation. I keep wanting to call them nations because it's United Nations.
How do they communicate with each other? Can they communicate with each other outside of? I mean, do they have to commandeer organisms to talk to each other, or do they talk? Do they have like they meet in clouds and have little?
See, I would think they're inhabiting clouds, so they've got like cities or whatever. They've got their little civilization of.
They live in clouds. Okay, so they're.
Or whatever, like I don't know, maybe they've got little ice castles, but they don't last that long, obviously, because so they're all. I guess in that sense, it's all temporary because they're headed off to the new heights. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, because like they live in clouds temporarily, then they rain, and then they take over. They inspire people briefly, and then they move on. And sometimes the rain doesn't land where they want them to land, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like they're at the whim. They're somewhat. They have only a limited amount of control.
That's yes.
So they have to kind of influence the weather and airstreams and whatnot in various ways to try to get to a position where they can. So that's why people get colds when it's snowy and shit.
All right. So we're down to 3 minutes.
Okay, we're doing good.
We are doing good.
But we still haven't figured. Okay, so this one is kind of a rebel, but it must how did this one rise to the ranks of being a representative is the question, and why do they even care that they're represented at the UN? I think that's one of the. This may be a question. How did the humans and the seed people? How did the humans realize the seed people existed? I mean, obviously the seed people knew about humans. But is it a situation where, how about this? The humans realized they were being possessed. And so they wanted to go to war with the seed people, but they ultimately had to form a truce with them because there was it was a standoff. So there was actually a secret war that happened between humans and seed people.
Why?
Hello.
Hello.
I can do something if you want to see. Let's go, boom. There is Andy Man. Let's go.
Wow, that's very athletic. You've got amazing knees.
Thank you. It's hard.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. We're in the middle of something.
Let's go. Okay, see you.
See you.
Bye. That's the suspense. So yes. Let me pitch it to you here. So
Okay.
there has already been a war between humanity and the seed people because they discovered that they were being possessed by the seed people. So humans that they went in, they had kind of a battle.
Got 1 minute. Can I just say that it was the ozone? We were destroying them by weaponizing the ozone, and the treaties that we came up with is how we closed the hole of the ozone.
I love it. Okay.
50 seconds.
Humanity had a war with the seed people.
Because they aren't invisible, so you could
Yeah, you
capture someone, see them under a microscope, or
yeah. I mean, there'd be ways to detect them. The treaty had war with seed people. The treaty involved closing the ozone layer. Interesting. Okay. So that's actually so that the person, the ambassador, that's a
Here we go.
war. Oh, uh-oh.
Time is running out.
Oh dear.
That is it.
I wonder if that actually recorded. Did that actually get the sound? I wonder.
Oh.
All right, folks. Well, we're at the end of our 40-minute regulation brainstorming period. Now it's time for us to go to. Oh, hold on. Now it's time for.
Lightning rounds.
All
So
right.
that is 2 additional minutes per character element and 1 5-minute revision period.
We're doing great here. We actually only have a few sections left. We've got basically the name and background, which, there's heroic and civilian name and biography and heroic origin for background. So, so let's, which do you want to start with, Terrence?
Well, I mean, I think we were kind of working out the biography, so I want to see if we can
Yeah.
flesh that out a little.
Let's do that more. So hit the clock.
And there we go, 2 minutes.
All right. So the biography. So he's a representative of. I mean, the stakes are different here. They actually have a treaty. So he's.
I was just thinking, what if they are actually like very long lived, or even immortal, like they. So maybe there aren't that many of them. Like there's a. So there wouldn't be billions upon billions upon billions of them and just floating around in the air, but there could be 20,000 of them or something. But 20,000 could wreak havoc, on all over the world if they, but
Okay.
all sorts of things. So, but
Okay.
they, but so maybe he's just he's a veteran of the war, he's,
Well, so here's the question: were some of them? I mean, if there was an actual war, then some of them probably were eliminated. Were there?
Yeah, exactly. So
he's a veteran. Okay, so veteran.
I don't know why that. Just the thought that if he's a veteran of the war and he has come to, he's he's feeling what his enemies are feeling. What is the word I'm thinking of?
Stockholm syndrome or something?
But he's come to their point of view where it's maybe we could really share this planet and live together, because that's the human perspective. That is not the the perspective of the sea people.
Well, so maybe that's why he was chosen, because he was capable. He had empathy for the humans. and so they figured he was a good liaison. So they may actually be banking on his. Wow,
Okay.
that was a short 2 minutes.
It's
Jeez.
a short 2 minutes.
Okay, veteran of the Sea People, Human War. Okay, let's move on to the hero. Well, this is actually okay. The heroic origin. That's the next part. 2 minutes for
Okay.
heroic origin.
All right.
So, how did he become someone who wants to actually save the planet rather than? So we just
There's 2 minutes. Um.
came to have sympathy for the humans. I guess is it that easy?
Yeah. I mean, just
Okay.
yeah.
Well, let's go to the names.
I want me to restart our two.
No, no, no,
Can we
no.
use-
Keep it to. We'll use the spare time here for
Okay.
it. So the
What would you name yourself if you were a?
well,
Basically, they're an alien spore, right? They're
yeah,
not
but
even-
you take well, except that they came. I mean, they may have been born on Earth. They may be born of Earth processes. What if they name themselves after the organisms they take over? So I mean, it's sort of like
like the first thing that they take over is
yeah, that would make sense. So like, maybe the first thing it took over was like a bird because you float up from the smoke, right?
uh,
Could be a plant. Could be dandelion. I mean, we could call it lionodando.
what is our? Oh, we had the igneous rock. We had the whip. We have a dandelion.
Well, actually, it could be whiplash dandelion.
No, I like the I like the lion aspect of dandelion. Like, because he's a like I don't know. I don't know. See, now I'm thinking of more of a this grizzled veteran fuzzball.
Well, it could be wind lion or gust breeze lion, wind lion,
What
lion,
was it? Vesper? Is that a word?
vesper.
Isn't that
Is
that
that
a
the?
word?
I mean, is a type of wind?
Oh,
Types of wind.
we still have another 2 minutes.
Yeah, because that was yeah. Westerly, Chinook,
What is
Mistral, Bora,
it?
Sirocco.
Zephyr. That's I think the
Actually,
word I
so-
was thinking of.
Which one?
Zephyr.
Zephyr. Oh well, why don't? Yeah, Zephyr's a cool name. You want to say?
What is these? Do you know antword?
How about Zephyr Whippersnapper? Well, how about? I mean, okay, we got these Zephyr Chinook, Zephyr Mistral.
Well, oh, actually, yeah. But I guess we were talking about what they
Organisms.
first possessed. So maybe it's like Zephyr Lion or something. You know, did that make sense, or is that too
Yeah, that I don't like the way that rolls off the tongue though. Maybe
No.
like Zephyr Leon.
Zephyr Leon? Actually, I kind of like
Okay, why
that.
don't we say Zephyr Leon? So that's the civilian name, I guess.
Yeah.
Zephyr Leon. Okay, and a heroic name. Is there a code name for Greta's clandestine elemental task force?
Oh, actually, now I want him to be Zeph. like, just,
Well, Zeph is fine.
I mean,
Why don't we just say Zeph? Well, Zephyr is fine. I mean that's. I mean, there's
Just
no
Zeph.
reason they have to have code names per se, but just Zeph. You want to just be Zeph?
no, that's
Why not?
I've got ulterior motives on that because Zephyr. It's good.
Well, unfortunately, that's the only name we came up with. So it's
All right.
Zeph. Zeph
Zeppy.
is the nickname, the heroic name. So
Okay. I mean, it fits. It's fine.
yeah.
It's funny.
Okay. Well, then we got a 5-minute revision period. Why don't we hit the clock and see if there are any changes we want to make?
Did we cover everything?
I think we did.
Oh, wow. I thought we still had something done.
Well, there's appearance. We didn't really. Okay, we got appearance. You want to do?
We got,
I mean, we know what it's. The civilian's going to be whatever organism takes over. So we
yeah,
know,
I was going to say, and won't that kind of be the heroic as well? Like,
Yeah. So I mean, we did cover everything. So do we want to just do a 5-minute review?
yeah, let's do a 5-minute review because I think we hit everything.
I think so too.
Um, so,
So I don't know. I mean, let's see. Veteran of the seed. I feel like the biography could be worked a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Came to
um,
have sympathy for the humans, and loves
music,
no,
sound,
no, not music, sound.
sound. Yeah, like not
Loves
music.
sound of Earth. So, um,
It's like super ASMR.
yes, exactly. Uh,
So, are they immortal? Like long lived, like
oh
immortal?
yeah, we should do that. Yeah. I don't want to say immortal, but maybe long
Yeah, I
lived.
don't know, not immortal. Like people died in the war, so
Long lived. Um, inspirational possession, lighter than air travel.
you don't think of them as aliens though, because I was thinking of them as an alien
Well, they're
race.
not human, but I mean, I don't think they're any more.
But
You
that
think they
they,
came from? I guess they could. It's an expansionist culture. So, do
yeah,
you
that
want
they
them to
were
be
coming
alien?
here and they, continued on, and their goal is to continue on.
Okay, alien spore creatures. This is we did a lot of world building on this one.
Yeah, because it's really hard to conceive of without, I think, building a lot around it.
Well, I think it's kind of built into the fact that they're UN representatives. We have to build the culture out.
Yeah, that's true.
So, um,
Man.
okay, I like this. I mean, I think I mean, it'll be interesting once we get the kind of figuring out the way they all interact together. Um,
Actually, the dandelion thing could be fun too if they were just like, "Hey, dandy," like, I don't know. You don't like that? Okay.
well, you want them to be really cute, and I'm like, I kind of see them as more serious, which is interesting. But I mean, there's no reason why they can't be that way.
I mean, but they can still be cute, and I don't know. I'm enjoying this image in my head of a grizzled fuzzball. So
I need to see. We need to have the drawing of this. I need to see what you've got
it's
in your head.
I don't know if I can pull off what I'm imagining, but it's fun. So
Well, are we done?
I think that we are. We've still got 2.5 minutes, but what
Well, I think
else?
we can just call it short here, and we can just sum up and move on.
All right.
So that's our character, folks. We got this grizzled veteran of the Seed People Human War. The Seed People being these alien spore creatures that have invaded the Earth, and they're eager to move on to other planets. And for them, that means even if they have to destroy the Earth to get moving, that's okay. But
Right.
their powers are such that they inspire organisms that they take over, and they inspire them to create technology that will help the spore creatures leave the planet. Um, our protagonist is Zephyr Leone, and Zephyr is a veteran of the Seed People Human War, but has come to appreciate not necessarily humanity, but the sounds of Earth, and has come to appreciate what humans appreciate about the planet, and is more sympathetic to saving the planet, or at least while aiding his species leaving the planet, is interested in maybe saving the planet as well, rather than just leaving it an empty husk. And of course, Zeph is capable of possessing people. It's sort of the same way that, for the length of a cold, he basically comes down and lands on people like bacteria, and gives them a cold for a week to 10 days, and during that period is able to infuse the people with inspiration and influence what they do and communicate through them as an agent.
One thing we discuss. Did we figure out they can communicate with each other without being involved with an intermediary?
I think we decided they live in clouds and they can do that. Yeah,
Okay.
they can. Yeah, they have like cloud meetings.
Okay.
They meet in the cloud.
I was gonna say, do we need a name for their species?
Do we have a name for the other species?
Well, the mole people were, and we
They're
had
just the mole people. I
the
think.
ocean is just the ocean. So,
These are the seed people.
are they?
I don't think we've come up with names for the cultures. I
Like,
don't think we have.
yeah, mean, mole people have. I don't know. That's just a thought. 'Cause we-
Yeah, well, these are the seed people. Is how I'm. That's my shorthand. But we could come up with names for them. But would seed people have? I mean, I guess they have Zephyr Leone as a name. So whatever they first possessed. So if there's seed people,
I mean, they're the rulers of the sky, or yeah, I don't know the
well, they use the sky. I think this is the thing. They use the elements for their purposes.
I guess that's true.
They're kind of, I mean, they live in the sky mostly, but they also live on the planet. They just kind of use the air as the air is primarily a transportation thing for
Yeah.
them. So they can jump around to different things. I mean, in some sense, I mean, even though they're not an elemental in the sense of
Right.
like the water beings,
Right.
you know.
Right.
I guess the mole people aren't elementals either. They just live in
They
the.
just have the interests of the earth.
But I
And
think
that's kind of they have the interests of the air,
But they're,
ocean is actually a
they're
living
inherently exploitative. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
If air was not the best tool for them, they would abandon it. That's how I see it.
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah. But they are, they probably rule the air. They probably control the air in a way that other creatures do not. So, I mean, especially if they're living in clouds and stuff.
So it could be like the currents or something. I don't know. Jet streams.
Well, I'm imagining they're living on a cloud and like they come across a wind current or something. And it's like everyone now jump, and they jump onto it or whatever, and then they flow onto a city or something or someplace and they hit targeted people.
Like they all came down for like the Renaissance or something.
But this is the thing. I can't. To me, it seems like they're kind of they're limited in their way of moving because. They land on the planet. They land on somebody that's like they sneeze. They travel through sneezes or something like that, or they travel through wind currents. And it's like if you don't have if you've got a very still day, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, that they can't motivate themselves too far too fast. So it would slow their ability to do stuff. But
yeah, so their means of propulsion on their own is very very limited. They have to rely on the weather or airstreams and stuff, and so. So that's why they're commandeering these other people. So, I mean, there's probably seeds that are kind of stranded in very dry, still areas, right? There might be some that have sunk to the bottom of the ocean and can't get picked up or something.
Oh.
There's probably seeds all over the planet that are inactive,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of interesting in its own right. You come across these inactive seeds. This would go into the long-lived thing. They could be sitting there for decades, years, centuries or whatever. And, and then somebody, it's like one of those things in Antarctica. Like you've got some that are frozen in Antarctica and you're digging stuff up and then you get this inspiration of this old, seed.
I could make a combustion engine.
Well, it could be like, I mean, we don't know if the seed people have their own, I mean, we know they're not a hive mind. They don't all agree with each other. So there could be villainous seed people that want to destroy the other seed people, right?
Oh, that's true.
And they could be frozen in ice somewhere,
Well, there could be some that don't agree with the treaty with the humans, like,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
or mad that, it's like, they killed my brother.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
All right, we've gone beyond summarizing to brainstorming.
Yes,
this would be stuff that we would anyway. It's an interesting culture, I think, that we came up with here.
No, I like them.
All right, folks. Well, why don't we sign out here and whoops, close off this screen. Well, that's it for this episode.
But we want to hear from you, true conceivers.
What did we get right?
What did we get wrong?
Leave us a comment or email us at heroicpod@gmail.com and we'll respond to your feedback on upcoming episodes.
Don't forget to show your support.
Share, subscribe, or just hit that like button.
It all helps.
And that's a wrap.
Keep on hero smithing, true conceivers.
We'll see you next time on Heroic Origins.
Thop.
Thop. Oh, hold on.